Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question here that's it's kind of an interesting one. This is kind of funny. This is one of those questions where I delay answering the question because it's such a core fundamental question that I want to make sure that I answer it correctly, that I'm in the right mindset. And it's never perfect. It's never the time to go. So I sort of remind myself, and sometimes you hear me say this in some of the videos, that I could re-answer the question. This is one of my answers of the question. This is the lens I'm looking through today, but I may re-answer this question again. So that's what kind of question we've got here today. So this question comes from one of my favorite question askers. I'm not going to say his name just in case he wants to remain anonymous in this case, but he sent this question that says, how do you not give a fuck what other people think? And he pointed to a video by Casey Neistat, which you could check out here, where Casey answers this question. He says, "Hi John, I was watching Casey video because of the title, and that sort of had a straight away impact on me." And so I watched the video that he's talking about, the Casey Neistat video, I guess that's the one. And you hear what he says. Could you make a video on what he says, but make it a 10-minute long video, please? Hope you're great. So those of you that like the fact that someone commented and said that John Sonmez always beats around the bush. That's such bullshit. I'm having fun. I'm having fun, dude. You want me to just like get straight to the point and do a bunch of jump cuts here and just give you the data? That's not what this is about. It's about the journey. It's about me having fun on the camera. That's why am I doing so many fucking videos every day? So some of you get that. Some of you appreciate it. Some of you are like, no, just tell me how to C++. I know, because I get emails from you that are like, dear sir, tell me how to C++. I'm not kidding. I get emails like that. In fact, not only is the email that, but that it's just the subject. There is no actual content to the email. It just says, dear sir, tell me how to C++. And it's serious. It's not even a joke email, right? I can tell by the way that it's capitalized and the name that's signed in the signature on the. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff. But anyway, okay, what are we talking about today? How do you not give a fuck what other people think? This is a hard one. This is tough. So I'm trying to think, like, the big thing here is to understand that the reason why, well, you see, you can't do something until you understand the why. At least it's not going to be effective. When you understand the why and the how, and you've got an understanding of a thing, it's much more easy to apply that thing. So I could tell you, oh, well, just don't give a fuck what other people think. It doesn't matter. It's all about what you want to do and what you want to achieve. But if you understand more of the why, then maybe you'll actually believe what I'm saying. And if you believe in your heart, if you really believe what I'm saying, you'll naturally do it. And see, that's one of the key things to make a change in your life, to make a positive change. If you want to change the way that you act, you have to change the way that you think. And if you want to change the way that you think, you have to deeply ingrain things into yourself. And the way to do that is to be repeatedly exposed to the same content. This is why things like positive affirmations work. It has nothing to do with magic, right? Although maybe there's some mystical element to it. I honestly don't know. The universe is a very strange and weird place that we live in here. But primarily, well, at least one of the factors that greatly influences the reason why affirmations work is because you're saying it enough. You're examining those ideas. It's filling your mind enough till it actually becomes a true belief, right? Because we do not have the abilities within ourselves to change what we believe directly, but we always have that ability indirectly. And so that's why sometimes some people say, hey, John, why you read so many books on the same topic? Why you read so many personal development, self-help books? It's because I need to ingrain some of this shit into my psyche. I need to keep watching videos or reading content or listening to podcasts or audiobooks that keep on telling me the stuff that I want to have a firm belief. I want to change my beliefs, because just hearing it once doesn't change my beliefs. Just like watching these videos. If you guys have, a lot of you, I've gotten success stories for where you've emailed me and you said, you know, I've watched a ton of your videos and it changed my mindset. And you see that happen. In fact, I'm going to probably read you a success story. I just thought of it, that I got an email, a really cool email that I want to read to you guys, but I'm not going to do it right now. Right now, I'm going to answer this. So how do you not give a fuck what other people think? So let's talk about one of the core reasons, right? Again, to have this understanding of why you shouldn't give a fuck what other people think. Well, remember when you were a kid, okay? And remember when you thought that your parents knew everything, that they were essentially could provide anything you need, could give you anything, could solve any problem, could keep you from dying, could heal you if you were sick, could give you any gift or, thing that you would want in the world. And then you kind of grew up and you started to realize there was maybe this scary moment in your life where you realized that your parents could not actually do all this. In fact, there was stuff they didn't know. In fact, not only was there stuff that there were limits to their ability. In fact, you could die and they could do nothing to stop that from happening, right? Do you remember that point? I mean, that's kind of a scary moment in life when you start to realize that you've gone from this whole stability. Some of us, maybe you haven't had that kind of a background, but if you've grown up in kind of a stable environment like that, you've had that experience and you've said, wow, what I thought was secure, what I thought was, known is an unknown quantity. It's scary. And so the reason why I'm telling you that is because I want you to understand that that's how the world is, right? Most people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Most people are not achieving their goals. Most people are not achieving their dreams. Most people are living mediocre, fucking boring ass lives, accepting low standards and never fulfilling their dreams, and they'll die and they'll slave throughout their lives doing work that they hate, dealing with problems, never elevating themselves to the level that they're capable of being. So why should you not care what people think? Because most people don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like that realizing that your parents do not have control over all of these things over the world that you thought. And most people are so damn lost. And so the thing is, like, if that's the case, right? Think about this, right? Again, going back to that understanding. If it's the case that these people that you care so much about what they think, they're actually living pretty fucked up lives themselves, that they're not actually achieving their dreams. They're not actually accomplishing things. They're sitting there typing dumb-ass comments on YouTube. They can't even capitalize or spell things correctly, and they're critiquing you. And they're telling you, oh, you should do this, or video starts at 9 minutes in, blah, 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 right? Some bullshit like that. Should you care what they think? Right? Because what does it matter? What do they matter, right? So the thing is, and Seneca talks about this a lot, this idea that if you try to appease the masses, if you want to be popular with idiots, okay, then what are you going to become, essentially, right? What you should care about is people that you esteem, that they esteem you, right? So I'm not saying that people's opinion and what people think of you doesn't matter at all. Of course it matters, but who is the question, right? If it's just some idiot on the internet, if it's just random people, if it's the populace, the general populace that's got their heads up their ass, right? That's never, like I said, going to achieve their dreams. Now again, I'm not trying to knock just average normal people, but I am actually, because why do you want to be fucking mediocre? Why are you going to settle for that? If you care what other people think, and then what's going to happen is they're going to control your life. They're going to mold you to what they want you to become, which is what society is, and you're going to be a robot, you're going to be a drone, you're going to be a fucking person with your head up your own ass, or probably other people's asses, okay? And is that what you want? So that's what will happen, because if you think about it, it's a feedback loop. If you care what other people think and other people are this, then you're going to become like them. You're slowly going to rotate down the drain until bam, you're just like all those other people. They've molded you. Now, most of us have had our lives shaped and molded by what other people think, what other people have told us, right? And it started from when we were young. It started from our parents. It started from society and schooling and telling us to raise our hand before we can go take a shit, and all of this stuff that's ridiculous, okay? And putting these limitations, and go to school and get good grades and go to college and learn this shit that we think is important for you, instead of using your own mind and your own brain. You've been a slave for a long time. Most of us have, right? And we still have that ingrained mentality. But I'm not excluding myself from it. I've been able to break part of my mind free, but there'll always be a part of my psyche, a part of my consciousness that's trapped in that system, because I've been molded by society and other people. And that comes from caring what they think. So if you don't want to have that, if you want to break out of that, if you want to become something different, if you want to achieve your potential, if you want to reach the highest potential that you could possibly reach and break out of that mold, you've got to care about who the right people are, what they think. And the first person that you got to care about is you. And I'll tell you why. It's because you're the person, every time when you open your fucking eyes in the morning, it's you. That's the person that's there all the time, okay? It's you. And you know what? I did this video on You're Always Going to Be Alone, okay? And you need to watch that video because, again, it's not meant to be a pessimistic video, but it's just meant to help you to understand that no matter what happens, other things are going to fade away. Friendships, relationships, whatever may fade, right? You may have some that last your whole life, but I guarantee you the one thing that's consistent, that's constant in your life is you're always going to be there with you. And so who's the person you need to please? Who's the person whose feedback you should value? Who's the person who really fucking matters? It's you. And it's not the fake you, it's the honest you, right? What is it that you really honestly think about what you're doing, right? Evaluate yourself. You know, there's so many people that by the world's standards, they're successful. By the world's standards, by what other people think, they're great, they're famous, they're a rock star, okay? But part of the reason why they've been able to achieve that is because that's not their standard. They don't give a shit. Maybe they do a little bit. Maybe it rubs their ego at times when they need their ego rubbed. But in general, those people that usually achieve that level of success in life, it's because their standard is them. They judge themselves and they come down harsh on themselves. And by the world's standards, they may have been successful and they may have achieved this great success, but they beat themselves up and rightly so, because they know where they're coming short, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you have a perfect chiseled body and you've achieved all these crazy awesome accomplishments. If you know that you're falling short, right? That's a judge. That's who you care about what you think. When you write in your journal, when you wake up in the morning and you say, shit, I fucked up yesterday. It doesn't matter all the medals you have on the wall, all the trophies, everything that you've accomplished in the world, right? It's what you think that matters. And I'll add to that and I'll say that in addition, it's the people that you highly esteem. That if you're going to take a second opinion, at least have it be the people that you aspire to be like, the people that you consider to be wise, right? Those people, their opinions, maybe you care what they think. Maybe those matter a little bit. Maybe those come in, and maybe you don't take feedback. Again, I did a video on not taking feedback. I'm not going to explain that whole concept, but essentially, don't alter your behavior just based on what they say, but you may take that into account. You may take counsel, right? There's a good thing in taking counsel from people, so it matters to care what those people think. But in general, right, the biggest reason why to not care about what other people think is because people are fucking idiots. You don't want to be like them, right? If you want to emulate the person you want to be like, right? Care what that person thinks and what they do, okay? And ultimately, it's going to be up to you. If you want something different, you got to do something different. You've got to be the one that judges, that sets the standard, that chooses what happens, right? I mean, you just look at this YouTube channel, right? There's so many people who said, well, what are you doing? Like, it's like simple program, but you're not talking about programming. Why? Well, yeah, but there's 70,000 subscribers, so I must be doing something right. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't care. I don't care that someone says, oh, you should make some videos on Java tutorials. Well, maybe I do if I fucking feel like it, but I want to make the videos that I want to make, and that pleases me. That makes me happy. At the end of the day, even if when I look at the video, when I see what I've created, when I see the impact that I've tried to make on the world and the message that I've put out, that's what matters. I don't care what other people think about that, because and that's what's going to wake me up and inspire me to keep on doing it. And sometimes I fall out of that. Sometimes I can be susceptible, right? We can all be susceptible to caring what other people think, but we got to try to break out of that. We got to try to judge ourselves, right? And set our standard, right? 9 or above. Set your own standard and judge yourself against that standard. So that's it. That's the why, right? And if you understand the why, then the how becomes easy, right? If you understand the why, because once you get the why, then the how doesn't matter, because the how is you just do it. You just don't care what other people think. It doesn't fucking matter, right? And I'll give you one last piece of this. It's easy to say that, when you've achieved some level of success, okay? Right? It's easier for me to stand here, like I said, with 70,000 YouTube subscribers and say, I don't care what people think. They're wrong. Because I've got some proof, right? I've got some momentum. It's still difficult. It's still at times, right? You want to, look and say, oh, well, this person may do something wrong. No, it's still tempting. But when you're starting out, okay, and you don't have that success, you don't have something, that confidence, then how do you do it, right? And that's where it's going to be very critical is for you to understand that if you care you look at the people that you care about what they think about and you see where they are. And if they're not where you want to be, then you shouldn't care, right? The reason why they're judging you harshly, the reason why they don't like what you're doing is because you're doing something different than them. And because you're doing something different, you're going to achieve different results. So that can encourage you, that can help you to not give a fuck what other people think. But it's always going to be a battle. It's always going to be a struggle, right? And for you guys out there, right, I'll give you one last piece here. Probably one of the big attractive qualities in a man is that he doesn't care what other people fucking think. He doesn't try to get external validation, right? Watch the video on external validation if you haven't. He just cares about doing his thing, whatever it is, and that's the thing. Is it's the focus on what are you going to do, right? That's the ultimate confidence is to be able to say, I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm going to choose what I think is right. It doesn't matter if 1,000 people say you're wrong, John. Well, fuck you. I'm still doing it. I'm doing it's not arrogance. It's not stubbornness. It's just that I know me and I know what is right for me, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So that's a very important mindset and attitude to have, right? Because that's going to inspire people. That's going to make you feel better when you wake up in the morning. And like I said, you're always going to wake up with you. That's the one constant in your life, no matter what. All right, so that's it. I'll probably answer this another way in another day. One quick thing before I go here. If you see this t-shirt that I like, if you like this t-shirt that you see that I'm wearing, click me and you can buy one of your own Trusted Process t-shirts. I just launched this a little while ago. I made this t-shirt in order to remind myself and remind other people, you got to trust the process. Again, if you want to do this, right, in order to be able to not care what other people think, you got to figure out what you're supposed to do. You got to decide what it is, and you got to trust that, and you got to do it. And that's it. That's what trust in the process is. So click me to order a shirt. If you like this video, if you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it now. There's nothing stopping you. Just click that subscribe button, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.